Hey, how you doing? Thanks so much for checking in with us at Go Daleo Realty. We got a special guest today, and that's Michael Bruegel from FNBO. And what is FNBO?
Well, first of all, it started off. It's First National Bank of Omaha. We're located here in Frisco and in Plano.
Okay.
We're headquarters out of Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
And we've got 4 banking branches locally. We have 2 in Frisco and 2 in Plano.
Awesome.
And we're a full service bank. So not only do we offer mortgage, which I do, it's my specialty, but we also offer credit cards. We're the 5th largest credit card issuing bank in the country, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Another great component is we do offer checking and savings accounts and CDs, commercial lending. We also have savings accounts, and so it's
full financial
financial institution. And so it's a huge benefit when I'm talking to clients like you guys. Is I'm not just a one-stop shop for mortgage. We are trying to earn a relationship with customers, so it's long-term relationship, and that's what we're in. We're in the relationship business.
That's right,
and that's why we're here.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So one of the reasons why we wanted to talk to Michael is Michael is one of our preferred lenders. So when you do business with Go Daleo, it's not just doing business with Samantha and I. We have a full team, and Michael could be part of your team. And so we wanted to talk to Michael, introduce him to you. And so, Michael, I really appreciate you taking the time. First of all, inviting us to El Dorado Country Club. What a beautiful, beautiful location. So, and you've been a member for a while, but really want to thank you for that. But talk to us a little bit about, from your perspective, mortgage perspective, what types of services are you able to give to our customers?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I'm a human being. I meet face to face. Yeah, really? You touch. Yeah.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about, but I do operate a lot face to face. With technology these days, obviously it does help with speed of being able to communicate via email or text or cell phone. But first and foremost, I do make myself available. Not only for meetings like this, but for on the weekends when it's important. One of the bigger aspects too that separates us a lot from our other institutions is our rates. We have some of the best rates in town, and the reason for that is because we're not in it for just a one-time transaction. Like I was stating earlier, we're in it for the long haul. We're in it for the relationship aspect, and so we would rather pass the savings on to you as an individual rather than make it as a profit as an organization. And so it's really important for us, and that's why we're able to offer a little bit better of a rate than other institutions. And one of the bigger aspects too is we all know that the lending process is probably one of the most annoying processes that everybody goes through up front. That's kind of start everything out when I talk to customers is, hey, are you prepared to go through the craziest process you ever go through? Because I mean, every loan transaction is like it's like a plane ride. There's turbulence at some point, and being able to control that turbulence is what I really like to try to concentrate on. And so, and what I mean by saying that is we do have a free full loan approval up front without a property address. So a lot of times with customers that are coming in, they're like, well, I don't know if I can afford this house. I don't know what this looks like. There's a pre-qualification process, which means basically a verbal exchange of information. And then there's the full loan approval process, which is basically means we go in, we get the W-2s, we get the tax returns, we get the pay stubs, and then not only do I review them, I send them off to my underwriting team, and then they review them. And then what they do is they come back and issue a full loan commitment to me and to you, and at that point you know that you have a full loan approval, and it's like having a gift card, and you know what happens when buyers have those gift cards.
So you're saying that this happens even before you have your final house selected. Wow.
So
what a huge benefit.
Well, it's like controlling the turbulence, right? The plane ride. So what we really try to concentrate on is really allowing us to be able to find a way to control the process. And the financial aspect, as you know, is like the biggest part of the process. And so there's nothing more frustrating, and I'm sure you have discovered this, where you get somebody all the way to a closing table, or almost, and then all of a sudden there's a hiccup on the financing.
That's right.
They're self-employed all of a sudden, and you thought they were W-2'd, or they have a second job income, and you can't use it all of a sudden, or commission hasn't been received for 24 months. I mean, there's all sorts of regulations that we have to, and guidelines we go by. But so this really eliminates half the loan process right up front. And now it takes a couple extra days to get that full loan approval done.
Right.
But one of my biggest things is I'd rather waste your time than your money.
Yep.
Because I can apologize for wasting your time, but as soon as you start spending money on an appraisal or a home inspection or earnest money and your option money, once all that's on the table, you're on the hook for that funding, to funding that loan.
That's right.
If you are the lender on that. And so being able to control the transaction by having that full approval up front really allows us and me to live a really stress-free mortgage life, to be honest, because I'm in it to win it, obviously. But the things that we're trying to eliminate are stuff that's out of our control. And some examples of stuff that's out of our control would be a home inspection, right?
Right.
We don't know if there's foundation issues or water leak issues or a roofing problem. Right. Those things are stuff that's out of my control. Right. Title. Say there's an instance on a title that comes up where there could be some back child support or something that needs to be paid that wasn't disclosed up front. Like, I cannot control that, and you can't control that. And then most importantly is the appraisal. Not every day does the appraisal hit value every day. I wish it did, but some cases it comes in higher. Some days it comes in right at it, and on the instance it comes in lower. And so on those circumstances, those three examples are stuff that I can't control. And so. So it really eliminates any pressure from me and from your standpoint on that piece. So,
yeah, that's really good. That's a great overview. But also, if you haven't noticed, Michael knows his stuff, right? So he went through a ton of information right now in a real short amount of time. But can you imagine being able to sit down in front of you and really dig into what's happening with your loan? So from a team perspective, again, Michael is your partner from the mortgage side of things. So that's really good. But one of the things that we're always looking at is there are so many loan programs out there. I mean, there's a ton of them, right? There's more than 10, and I can't count higher than 10. But one of the things that we're asked is always, we got customers that say, well, I'm going to get an FHA loan. Well, I mean, we know what FHA stands for, but other than that, what can you just quickly describe the difference between like a conventional loan and an FHA loan? Because I think a lot of people just stick with FHA because of the cool acronym.
Sure. Sure. I mean, there's obviously, like you stated, there's the Federal Housing Administration. Right. A lot of people get it confused with the first-time home buyer
right. That's right.
program. Yeah. And so, it is designed for first-time home buyers. But the two main components there is FHA is a 3.5% down loan program. The thing about FHA too is it does have an upfront mortgage insurance premium, and then it has a monthly mortgage insurance that you pay every month, and it's on there for the life of the loan. It does not come off, and so where the rates might seem a little bit cheaper on an FHA loan, which often happens, you're going to be stuck with that mortgage insurance premium, and the only way to get rid of it is to either sell the house or refinance out of it. That is pretty standard on FHA, and then on the conventional aspect, again, there's a couple different types of conventional loans, but the minimum down payment on a conventional loan is 3%, and again, that's going to be on a home ready program. Right. But typically on the conventional loan, the minimum down is 5%. Yeah. And the great thing about the conventional loan aspect is that if you can come up with that extra 1.5%, you don't have to have the mortgage insurance on there for the life of the loan. Right. It's on there until you have 20% equity in the property, which is great. And you don't have to pay that upfront mortgage insurance premium either on a conventional loan. Yes. On both aspects too, you can use gift funds for down payment. So mom and dad, has a son that could be getting married soon, which they are, by the way. son just got engaged. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks.
But if you wanted to ever, contribute money as a gift, you could do that too as a down payment. So,
a lot of
which is
times
nice.
all you need is that gift letter, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And there's a standardized gift letter, but there's credit scores and stuff that are associated with different loan programs. And I was telling Rob just a little bit earlier, I'm kind of explaining, the difference in programs and rates. And I try to put it down in simple ABC terms because that's how I typically understand information. But it's like gas lending and rates are kind of like gas prices. You've got your unleaded, you've got diesel, you've got your supercharged up, fuel, and then you've got your corn oil fuel. So, when you go in there, you're like, oh, what do I choose? And then what gas station do I go to? Which is kind of like the lender aspect. Right. And then, which gas price do I want to pay today? Which is kind of like the interest rate aspect. And, unfortunately, the gas prices change every day, just like interest rates change every day, and I can't tell you every aspect that goes into interest rates because there's so many different aspects that go into it, from stocks to government to elections to sicknesses and coronaviruses and like there's
what about presidential tweets? Does that have anything to do with it?
They could at some point. Right? Depends on what president you want there.
That's true. That's right.
You want, but like I was saying, there's so many things that go into lending. And it's not easy. It's like putting a big puzzle together, and there's pieces of information, with you, and there's pieces of information with me, and a homeowner's insurance company, and a former landlord potentially, and then your work and your job, and there's like 15 people involved in a transaction. An appraiser, a title company.
Yeah, you're already over 10.
A seller, I know. A seller's agent. And then it can get overwhelming, and it is. It's so overwhelming, and so that's why I start this process out as it's the most annoying process you're going to go through, but it's also the most rewarding process you're going to go through as well.
Yeah, but just in a couple of minutes, you have really shown how convoluted, how many multiple variables are involved in your mortgage. And that's why it's important to bring in a professional like Michael to be part of your team as you're purchasing that house, so we can handle that stuff for you and manage through those murky waters, so to speak, so that it's easy for you, right? Because that's what our job is. Our job is to make the process of getting your house as painless as possible, as easy as possible, and we just provide you the simplicity of we need X, Y, and Z, and then Michael takes care of the rest of the alphabet.
But it's also the team aspect too, right? People don't know how much you know until you start showing how much you care.
Yep.
And you're talking right here. We care not only about you and your life and vice versa, but we care about our customers too, and we are vested. And that's the thing that you get with somebody working locally versus somebody that might be working for another institution that might be having a call center type atmosphere or a call-in number.
Right.
You're not going to get that touch. And is there a price differentiation? There could be. Every institution is a little bit different. Are there fee differentiations? Yeah. Typically, the bigger the bank, the more overhead they have.
That's
and
right.
The more expensive things tend to get. And the smaller the bank, which, like us, we're the largest privately held bank in the country. And we care about you and your family and savings and earning a relationship. And so those are important to me. They're valued in my family, as they are in yours. And that's why we get along,
So speaking of your family, just tell me what's your background. Where were you born and raised?
Oh, that is a long story.
You're not that old, Michael.
No, I know. All 40 years today.
Yeah.
All
today?
40 years. Not today, but like through today. To this date.
Okay.
No, but I'm born and raised Texas. I'm born and raised in the great city of Amarillo, Texas. Yeah. So all you George Strait fans, sing my song often. But I was raised there, and then I moved to TCU. Went to school at TCU.
You didn't just go to school at TCU. Tell us a little bit more about your experience at TCU.
I played football in high school and was was very fortunate to be recruited to TCU as a recruited walk-on. to potentially earn a scholarship. And so,
Fantastic.
so I was there and played 5 seasons with TCU and hit that school at the right time. I'm telling you what. And again, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, life's all about timing, and you don't ever know what you're going to get. But that was a great choice. Not only was I there when Coach Patterson and Coach Francione kind of exchanged, I was actually there to watch LaDainian Tomlinson set the NCAA rushing record.
Awesome.
Had a chance to play with him and some really great talented other players too. But I mean, that's the biggest notoriety that comes out of there is LaDainian Tomlinson. After I met my wife at TCU also.
Okay.
So we are horn-frogged out at our house.
Nice.
We have totally corrupted our kids. They think that TCU is the only school out there. There is no other.
Isn't it?
It is. I've almost got you singing the same tune, right?
I was ready to send my daughter there, but she decided on criminal justice, so she had to go to a different school.
Understood. But we met there at TCU, and then
we got to see a game this year. We got to get out there.
But open invitation.
Oh, thanks.
Any time, and the Colonial's out there too. We have to get golfer guy here, but no, met my wife there. Her name's Ashley. We've been married going on 15 years in June. So I don't. That's a whole nother episode on the secret sauce for that. Yeah. But we have two great kids, 2 boys. Chase, who's my oldest, who's 11, and then my youngest is Preston, who is 8. Yeah. And we have just we do life with them, and we travel. Like we spend a lot of time trying to figure out where we're going to go next. Which is both a plus and minus because it can get expensive with four people. But my wife teaches at Plano East Senior High. She's been teaching for well over 13 years, 14 years, and we've lived here in McKinney. Been here since 2005. We watched this little town grow up. I mean, there wasn't even a highway. Like a real highway, like 121 is now, Sam Rayburn, and it was a 4-lane every half mile. There's a stoplight, kind of like 380 is now, to be honest. But change is inevitable, and how you adapt to it is what makes us stronger. So.
Now, Michael also contributes to the local community. We were just talking about the baseball tournament that's coming up that Michael's contributing to. So you do a lot of work in the community as well. I mean, talk to us about the food bank event that we were at with you. I mean, you do stuff like that. What was that about?
Yeah, so my bank, First National Bank of Omaha, we are, like I said, a family-owned bank, and one of the biggest things that they really try to get involved in Omaha is get involved with different organizations that benefit, the community. Community bank. We're a great big small bank, and so we have been getting involved in a lot of different things down here in Frisco and in Plano. And the specific instance you're talking about is our food drive that we host every year. This is our second annual one, and it benefits Frisco Family Services. So during Christmas time, when everybody's in need, we've selected them as a company that we host our food drive for.
That's awesome.
Some other things that we have too is we have the Frisco Classic coming up, which we're a big sponsor on too. So you guys know Omaha is the home of
World Series,
the College World Series, and so anyway, we kind of piggyback off of what goes on in Omaha down here. So it's the best tournament outside of Omaha is what it's labeled as. But this year we've got really 4 great teams coming in town here next weekend, and so we do a big sponsorship on that. And we do some things through Strike for Kids, which is a fundraiser when school starts at the beginning of the year, collecting backpacks and school supplies for kids and stuff. So one of my dear partners at the bank, her name is Ginger Herrick, which she doesn't get enough thank yous for me, but she's a huge advocate of that organization and of mine too. And so she's a great person.
What about at home? What are you guys passionate about from a community perspective, you and Ashley?
Right now, we are real involved in our church at First United Methodist Church of McKinney. And then we're in the process of transitioning, our kids from public school into private school. And so we're kind of, getting closer with the church and, God and everything too. So it's important for us to understand that a little
absolutely.
bit. And hope it's important to everybody out there. You got to have a cause to strive you. and that's one of mine.
Fantastic.
For sure.
All right, so now it comes to this time. We're going to get to the lightning round. So Samantha's got 10 questions. I don't even know what the questions are. Okay, so she's got 10 questions. We just want you to spout out the answer right off the top of your head.
Sure.
Okay?
All right, Michael, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. If you were stuck on an island for 10 years, what 3 things would you want to take with you?
Oh, water.
Because there's not enough water on the island, around the island.
No, you cannot harass them. Water is the first
I don't know,
one.
clothes and probably my wife, Ashley, and my
That's
family.
nice.
My
Nice.
family,
Nice.
yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
All right,
That's cool.
good. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
In Tuscany.
Nice. Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dog guy, for sure.
I love you. Okay.
Hold on, go back. Not Tuscany. I don't know why you said that.
It's too late.
No,
You
I
answered.
can't go back.
You can't
I
go
can't.
back.
Oh
It's
my
a
God.
lightning round.
No.
Wow.
Last concert you went to?
Billy Joel.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Marvel or DC?
DC.
Wow, okay.
Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate.
Okay. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Oh, Star Wars all day.
3 favorite drinks?
Of beer, vodka, and bourbon.
So funny thing is that Michael will take water to the island, but not those other things.
Right?
Yeah.
And now, what or who did you want to be when you were 10 years old?
Love Nolan Ryan. Huge fan of that guy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And a funny story is I've got a really good friend of mine named Andrew Bivens from Amarillo, and he married Nolan's daughter Wendy. They're super sweet folks, by the way. But my mom, I've had these 2 photos of Nolan forever since I was about 10, when he was pitching for the Rangers, and I've had them in a case in my room, and she gave me them signed by Nolan. Because of her relationship with Wendy, because they're from Amarillo, was able to get them signed for me. She gave them to me for my birthday like 2 years ago, which is pretty cool.
That is very
Pretty cool.
So look at the difference in our ages, okay? Because here Michael's talking about 10 years old, he was watching Nolan pitch for the Rangers. I remember when Nolan pitched for the Mets. Think about that.
Yeah.
You're a little bit older.
Very much so.
Last one. Ideal superpower.
To fly, I think that'd be awesome to.
You don't think your arms would get tired?
No. Hey,
Gun
not
show.
with these guns, baby.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
See?
That's
Was that
awesome.
too
Cool.
painful?
No, it's great.
Okay, good.
No, that was awesome. That was awesome. But it does make you think. Sometimes I think like the Newlywed Game. I totally lose at that game.
Yeah.
Like seriously, my wife would be like, "Where did you come up with Tuscany?"
Yeah.
Like we're beach people.
Yeah.
I was thinking wine and pasta and pizza. And
That's exactly what I was
like,
thinking.
okay,
Tuscany, wow.
inland. I mean, why not?
You were thinking of Ashley. She's a fan of wine.
Yeah.
Nice Tuscan wine. Why
Yeah,
not?
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Hey, if she wins, I win.
That's right.
Right?
go.
Yeah. Happy wife, happy life.
There you go.
So, Michael, tell us how people can get in touch with you.
The easiest way is I give my cell phone number out. I'm available on the weekends and through text, which is great too with technology. But I'm easily reached on my cell phone, which if you want to put it up here, you can. But that number is 817-925-9393. And been the same number since I had my first phone. So
Awesome.
hasn't ever changed.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, that's me too. I have a 714 number from when I was in California. That was like almost 10 years ago. And people still ask me for my number that I gave them like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They're still asking for the same number. So,
Just assume it changes.
yeah.
We have to
Well,
get
that's
you. We
great.
have to localize. We have to get you a local number.
You know what?
We have to get you that burner phone.
Yeah, that's what we got to
burner
do.
phone.
Yeah. So we'll put Michael's contact information below. And like always, we invite you to subscribe to our videos. And if you like this video, make sure you ring the bell so you get alerted to other videos that came up. Make sure you contact Michael, and just so you know, if you're doing business and you have Go Daleo as your realty team, Michael comes with us. He's part of the team, so we're really excited. The next time we sit down with you, we'll bring Michael aboard, and we can talk about the Horned Frogs and Tuscany.
That's funny.
See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.